Fox Sports.
We are Blackmore. We are Minnesota.
Cold weather has been a factor here at Target Field since the start of the season, but not tonight. Temperatures have spiked into the mid-40s, and fans are warming up to the idea that snowmobile suits aren't required to watch Twins baseball. At least not tonight. The way Joe Mauer has been hitting the baseball lately, one might assume that batting practice isn't necessary. That would be missing the point. The practice makes perfect point. And Joe Mauer was close to perfect last night with 4 hits, his 20th career game with 4 hits or more. The Twins did all the little things right. At the plate, Minnesota hammered out a season-high 12 hits and found a way to manufacture runs in a variety of ways, using the long ball, stolen bases, bunting for base hits. They demonstrated speed and alert base running. Meanwhile, on the mound, Kevin Correa delivered a quality start, scattering 8 hits while fanning 5 and allowing just 2 runs in 7 complete innings, setting up the bullpen for success. Also a memorable night for Oswaldo Arcia, who collected his first major league hit in his first major league at-bat. All in all, it was a feel-good night for the Twins. Now it's time for another. Up next, Dick and Bert discussed Joe Mauer's success at the plate last night, which included his 2nd home run of the season. It's the Twins and Angels. Game 2 tonight from Target Field.
On Fox Sports North is presented by Northland Ford. Visit northlandford.com and your local Northland Ford dealer today. And by Menards. Save big money on all your home improvement needs at Menards. The Twins hope to build a winning streak after last night's win. Mike Pelfrey will take the mound, his 3rd start as a Twin, and he'll be taking on left-hander Jason Vargas for the Angels. Beautiful night at Target Field for mid-April. It's a beautiful night. Dick and Bert with you for the middle game of this 3-game series. Joe Mauer with 4 hits last night. It probably shouldn't be this way. It takes sometimes a 4-hit night to appreciate what a great talent he is.
Well, Joe Mauer has won 3 batting titles already in the American League. Remember, this guy is a catcher. No catcher has ever done that. You know, last night's ball game, currently on an 8-game hitting streak, just shows again what type of hitter Joe Mauer is. A lot of hits going to left field. His home run, he hit the left center. He hit the double high off the wall in right center. And then a base hit to right field in his 4th at-bat. You know what? They pitch him away. He's going to hit it away. Exactly what he's done so far this year. 18 hits, 11 to left, 6 to center, and then last night's RBI single to right.
Well, the Twins would like to get back into a pattern where they win series, particularly at home. They have a chance to do that tonight in Game 2 against the Angels. And they are back on a mostly clear night at Target Field. I think it's a testament to how cold and miserable it's been here. Temperatures are only, what, 46 degrees, something like that.
Hey, the sun was out today.
It seems 20 degrees warmer than that just because it's been so cold here.
Well, it's nice to see the sun. Beautiful day here in downtown Minneapolis.
Mike Scioscia was hoping his team could build a winning streak. They won the last 2 games of their series at home with Houston, but a disappointing performance last night from Joe Blanton. Is Menard's batting order in Game 2. Peter Bourjos leading things off. Mike Trout, Albert Pujols, the designated hitter tonight for the Angels. Then Josh Hamilton, Mark Trumbo, Howie Kendrick, Chris Iannetta, Luis Jimenez, and Andrew Romine hitting 9th and playing short.
And it's Mike Pelfrey on the mound. There are starts you just want to forget about, and that's what Mike Pelfrey already has done. And his last start in Kansas City, not a good one. You throw that out the window. Now you're facing a team that you're making your 3rd career start against Both those two previous starts with the Mets. He's 2-0. Very good ERA against the Angels. The last time he faced the Angels as a Met, he threw a complete game victory against them in New York. Won that game 6-1. He'd like to do that here again tonight.
Defense behind it, brought to you by Northland Ford. And it's a different lineup than one that was originally posted by Ron Gardenhire. Wilkin Ramirez, the proud new papa, in left field. Aaron Hicks in center. Chris Parmalee in right. Florimon, Dozier, Morneau, the infielders. Maurer behind the plate. Darren Mastroianni was in the original lineup, but he suffered a re-injury or a tweaking of that left ankle injury that's bothered him going back to spring training. So he was scratched. Ramirez on paternity leave, allowing Oswaldo Arcia to make his debut last night, but now Ramirez back with the team.
Yeah, Ramirez's girlfriend delivered a little baby girl. Venice is her name. They're his second child.
And everybody's fine. They're back home, doing well. And Paul Nauer will have the plate tonight. Andy Fletcher, Sam Holbrook, and Chris Conroy. And our official first pitch temperature is 44 degrees.
A heat wave.
Hey, we better enjoy it, because sadly, this might be as warm as it gets for a little while. And Peter Borges will lead things off. He started the ball game with a home run last night. Corner infielders playing up, and Pelfrey hits the corner. It was one of those games for Pelfrey. He said in the bullpen he felt fine. He thought he made decent enough pitches against the Royals, but the Royals were a hot-hitting ball club at the time, and Pelfrey paid the price. Down low, 1-1.
I think I remember about that ball game. He got ahead of a lot of the hitters, but he just couldn't put them away. And then, you know, they fouled off a lot of pitches. He threw a lot of pitches in 2 innings. Ended up throwing 62 pitches.
Busted bat and a little pop-up center field. Dozier retreating, making a back tumbling catch. Brian Dozier with a fine play to get the game started.
Yeah, Borges, because of his power, of course, the outfielder's playing pretty deep, and it's Brian Dozier that has to go back and then backpedal right here as he spins around, and then able to good concentration, keep his focus on that ball and getting it in the glove. Nice catch.
One down. That'll bring up Mike Trout. Down low, ball 1. One of the casualties of Pelfrey's night last night, or one of the perhaps reasons he had such a difficult night, he had a tough time getting his fastball over 90 miles per hour. We saw that last one clocked at 93. And a fly ball hit to center. Hicks coming in.
He took something off a breaking ball right there. Trout way out front to create that little pop-up.
And a couple of quick outs here.
And I think what we'll see throughout the summer, Dick, is some of that up and down with Mike Pelfrey. Again, a lot of people may not know he had Tommy John surgery on May 1st of last year. So he's one of the quickest pitchers to come back from the Tommy John surgery. And here he is in his 3rd start already this year.
2 gone. Here's Albert Pujols, the designated hitter for the Angels. And here's strike 1. Ryan Madson, who the Angels have hopes for being their closer this year, hasn't come back yet, and it's been more than a year. And his responsibility is to pitch 1 inning at a time, and he's still not ready. Check swing, 1-1.
Well, one thing we have seen from Pelfrey is that he's very deliberate on the mound. He will take his time, and then once he starts his stretch, he'll pause a little bit right there and then explode toward home plate.
This is popped up. Morneau is chasing it, but it is back in the seats. 1-2.
Pelfrey with the fastball. Now, you know, before the surgery, he was at 94, 95. So I think, you know, he can pitch right where he's at 92, 93. Got a real good slider, got a slow curveball. We've seen that, and then the circle changeup. You know, you could pitch at that as long as you hit your spots. My goodness, Nolan Ryan threw 100 miles an hour, but if you blade one right down the middle, guys are going to hit it hard somewhere. So you have to hit your spots, just like Correa did last night.
I was just going to say, wouldn't you agree that Pelfrey probably has more stuff, a more live arm than Kevin Correa? But it's Correa who has given the Twins 3 really great starts without throwing as hard as Pelfrey can.
Yeah.
This one punched to right field.
And he took something off that little pitch and got another pop-up.
3 fly ball outs in a quick first inning for Mike Pelfrey. Ron Gardenhire, at some point this year, will probably get his 1,000th win as manager of the Minnesota Twins. And the Menards batting order for the Twins in Game 2. Brian Dozier, for the first time ever, hitting in the leadoff spot. Joe Mauer batting second. Justin Morneau, Trevor Plouffe for the first time hitting cleanup. Ryan Doman was added to the lineup when Mascherani left the lineup. Chris Parmelee, Wilkin Ramirez, Aaron Hicks dropping down to 8th, and then Pedro Florimon.
And it'll be left-handed pitcher Jason Vargas on the mound, making his 3rd start. And like Joe Blanton, he's looking for his first win as an Angel, being traded over from the Seattle Mariners over the winter.
Fastball on the outside corner.
Vargas making his 8th career start against the Twins, and he has not really enjoyed pitching here at Target Field. He's won a ball game, he's lost a ball game, but he has an ERA at 8.22 in 3 career starts here at Target Field.
Acquired from the Mariners for Kendrys Morales. Down low, 2-1. Dozier taking some pitches. One of the reasons Aaron Hicks was left in the leadoff spot, the Twins don't have an abundance of other leadoff type hitters. And it's almost by default that Dozier gets the chance here, with Hicks committed to hitting in the bottom, toward the bottom of the order now, and Mascherani unable to play. By default, Dozier gets put in the leadoff spot.
One thing Ron Gardenhire wanted to do was kind of put Hicks down in the lower part of the lineup, and with Mascherani, like you mentioned, Dick, you know, you have to find somebody that they were talking about, maybe Joe Mauer being the leadoff hitter. But Aaron Hicks in today's ball game in that number 8 spot.
Originally in the number 7 spot, and as Ron Gardenhire had to juggle things around, he dropped him down another spot. And Dozier flips another one foul.
Vargas with a pretty good fastball in the low 90s, slider, curveball, very good changeup. He really does a good job of changing speeds. And
the dirt, 3-2. Dozier doing what you'd want a leadoff man to do. Let everybody see some pitches. See if he ends up on base. Another foul.
Vargas, 30 years old, originally came up to the major leagues with the Marlins back in 2005. Then spent some time with the Mets. He and Pelfrey were actually teammates.
Another pop-up. This one will be lifted over the Twins dugout, out of play. Northland Ford defense for the Angels. A lot of speed in the outfield. Trout, Borges, and Hamilton. Jimenez, Romine, Kendrick, Trumbo, the infielders, and Iannetta behind the plate.
Now, Vargas and Pelfrey were teammates in 2007. They were going to be in 2008, but Vargas had hip surgery and missed the entire season.
Hit high and deep to center. Borges gets turned around, but makes the play on the edge of the track. So Dozier gave it a ride, 390 feet from home plate.
And a 9-pitch at bat, a 10-pitch at bat for Brian Dozier. So made Vargas throw some pitches early.
One down, that'll bring up Mauer. 4 hits for Joe in the game last night. As you saw in our open, most of them have gone to left field. About a third of them have gone up the middle. And last night he got a base hit to right field, his first hit that he pulled to right field this year. 1 strike.
One thing about Joe we have seen, he's not afraid to hit 0-2. He will take pitches, work that pitcher, that fastball in. Take a look at Joe Mauer last night with his 2nd home run of the year. First one coming in Kansas City, this one to left center.
Showing a half swing with a foul, and he's quickly behind in the count, 0-2. Inside. That's what's been so impressive about watching Joe this year. The number of at-bats he's had when he's had 2 strikes, and as Ron Gardenhire commented after the game, he still gets the barrel of the bat on it. He hits the ball hard. It's one thing to make contact. It's the other to do it with authority. 2-2.
Yeah, he fouls pitches off, and that's what all good hitters do. You can make a nasty pitch and he'll foul it off. And I've always said, you know, you throw a guy, a good hitter like Joe Mauer, 5-6 pitches in an at-bat, there's going to be a pitch Joe's going to hit hard somewhere. There's a good fastball inside, and even though Joe got a piece of, his foot on that, he fouled it off to keep the bat going. Already 5 pitches into this at-bat.
Off the shin guard. Two and 2 to Mauer. Like that.
Yep.
And he does it with so much apparent ease.
There you go, 5-6 pitches. He fouled off a couple nasty pitches, inner half of the plate. Vargas trying to keep the ball down, and it's not a bad pitch. Watch the pitch. It's down, but inner half of the plate. And Mauer, look at the head right on the barrel of the bat. Almost the eyes just watching that ball make contact, drive it right back up the middle.
Another hit with 2 strikes. In fact, the count was 0-2 at one point. Runner at first, 1 out, and here's Morneau. Little looper caught by the shortstop Romine, and Mauer retreats. 2 down.
A nice reaction right there by Romine, who's not much of an offensive player, but a very good defensive player. Made a nice catch. Justin kind of just trying to hit this ball softly. You can see almost a back breaking, but Romine going back and making a nice catch.
That'll bring up cleanup hitter Trevor Plouffe. Plouffe hit a home run last night. He has hit one against Vargas. And in the absence of Josh Willingham, who was sick again today and sent home, Plouffe gets a chance in the cleanup spot. Down and away, ball 1. Willingham didn't play last night. And good at all today again. It's to left. It's hanging in the air for Trout. And that ends the inning. A Mauer single, the first hit of the game. They'll score after an inning.
Marnie Gellner. Joe Mauer already has a hit in this game tonight. And earlier tonight, I asked Angels manager Mike Scioscia about Mauer's 4-for-5 game last night. But Scioscia only wanted to talk about Mauer's defense. He said, well, offensively, people know what he can do. Behind the plate, he controls the game. The way he throws, the way he receives, the way he does everything. He is a terrific player. And I asked Scioscia if he appreciates Mauer's swing, even as an opposing manager. He said, well, yeah, it's tough to watch him kill us, but yes, he does have a great swing. Dick and Bert, that is high praise from a former catcher himself, Mike Scioscia, talking about Mauer behind the plate.
Very nice praise from Mike Scioscia, a great receiver over his long career behind that plate.
Strike one to Josh Hamilton. Thank you, Marnie. Hamilton, Trumbo, and Kendrick here in the Angel second inning. Prior to last night, the last time the Twins saw Hamilton, of course, he was still in a Texas Ranger uniform, and he got caught up in that kind of awful situation between the Twins and the Rangers when Scott Diamond threw over his head, ended up serving a suspension. Ball driven to center. Hicks is over for the catch, one away. Diamond, of course, won't pitch in this series. One down, and here's Mark Trumbo. Every out has been recorded in the air.
In the air, yep.
Talked about it last night. Trout, Pujols, Hamilton, and Trumbo. The Angels have 4 consecutive hitters that hit 30 or more home runs last year. Flipped foul. It's a lineup that should score runs. The biggest question so far regarding this Angel team is, do they have enough pitching? Jared Weaver is on the disabled list. Had a chance to chat with him today. He's looking at another 3 weeks or so before he's able to rejoin the team.
Yeah, they're hoping that Joe Blanton, who started last night's ball game, Vargas, who's starting here tonight, will just be consistent, because again, when this team is healthy, and I think when Eric Aybar comes back, he's kind of the spark plug for a lot of these guys, but I think the pitching staff will be okay. I think more of the bullpen will be in question.
1-1. See if this sounds familiar to you. The concern right now with the Angels, the bullpen has been overworked because the starters haven't gone deep enough into a ball game. Where have I heard that before?
I don't know. That might be the first.
2-1.
And the Angels got another short start last night from Joe Blanton. Change up, and it's popped up. Backing out of play. 2-2. When you join the Twins season ticket family this year, you'll be hitting the sweet spot. Purchase any of the Twins season ticket packages and receive 10% off all food, beverage, and merchandise bought at Target Field. Call 800-33-TWINS. Visit twinsbaseball.com. Check out the options. Learn about the benefits. So come along with Twins season tickets. 2-2 to Mark Trumbo. Swing and a miss. And Pelfrey picks up his first strikeout.
Good movement right there. That sinker down and in, and Trumbo, with his power, does strike out a lot. And a good nasty pitch down and in. And Pelfrey picks up his first strikeout.
Two down, Howie Kendrick, the batter. Down and away, ball one. Prior to Kevin Correa's win last night, Pelfrey was the only starter to have picked up a win this year. Pitched 5 1/3 innings. Picked up the win in his Twins debut. That was left inside 2-0 in his Twins debut, going 5 1/3 innings against Detroit here at Target Field. Sticks a fastball in the outside corner, and again at 93.
Location. Yeah, good location of that fastball. You always have something to go back to when you've fallen behind in the count, and that's your out pitch right there. That's your get back pitch. Get back to even. That 92-mile-an-hour fastball, you pull the string a little bit. An 84-mile-an-hour off-speed pitch.
Two and two. Fouled away.
Pelfrey making his 152nd major league start, his third as a Twin. 51 wins, 55 losses. That's 4 complete games in his career.
Down and away, and it's a full count with Iannetta on deck. And a fastball lifted foul down the right field line.
I think of all the players that will miss Torrey Hunter, it might be this guy right here, Howie Kendrick. Really appreciated Torrey Hunter's leadership on that ball club. And I remember an article where he said, "I want to be like Torrey when I get to where he is at."
He's got to play for another 12 years before he gets to where Torrey's at. Another 3-2 pitch coming to Kendrick. Bounce to the right side. In his last start in Kansas City, Pelfrey pitched 2 innings and threw 62 pitches, 25 pitches through 2 innings tonight. nice Santa hat on a cold night. Sanford Health injury report. Johnny Cueto, a strained right lat on the disabled list. Aaron Hill, broken left hand. The one involving Joel Hanrahan's kind of interesting because to take Hanrahan's spot, the Red Sox called up knuckleballer Stephen Wright. So the Red Sox, who had Tim Wakefield in their rotation and pitching out of their bullpen for so many years, have another knuckleballer.
Yeah. Tim Wakefield, there helping him during spring training.
2 strikes to Ryan Doumit, who was not in the original lineup. Wilkin Ramirez was supposed to be the designated hitter, but then when Ramirez was needed in left field, Doumit got the DH call. The bottom line is the Twins are playing this game essentially with just 2 players. Now, we've been told that Josh Willingham stayed at the ballpark and is hanging around for pinch hitting duties if need be, but for all intents and purposes, the Twins have Jamie Carroll on the bench. Bouncer in front of the third baseman Jimenez, and Doumit will get an infield hit. So a leadoff single for the designated hitter.
Well, kind of a swinging bunt right there. Tough play for a third baseman to come in and try to field it with his bare hand and then get something on the throw. Doumit hustling down that line. He beats it out.
Jimenez couldn't do anything more with it.
Well, playing back as far as he did, Doumit smelling that infield base hit.
Well, that's hitting down the line pretty good, particularly out of the right-handed batter's box.
Hitters, they smell those infield hits, especially Ryan Doumit. He gets so many of them,
Here's Parmelee. Yeah, you put his infield hit total next to Mike Trout's by season end. It would probably be pretty similar.
Yeah, right.
1 strike to Parmelee, who, for whatever reason, has had great success against Jason Vargas. He's 4 for 8 against him. One strike. Jam shot, another dribbler, and Jimenez will have another opportunity. Parmelee retired. Doumit advances to second. That'll bring up Wilkin Ramirez, who can be forgiven if he has other things on his mind than baseball.
Yeah, there's Venice Ramirez. And little Venice will join Ramirez's other son, Derek. So father of 2. The happy papa. Congratulations to the Ramirez family.
And Ramirez with a chance to drive in a run. He has 1 run batted in. It came in a pinch hitting appearance in the Detroit series. Takes low, ball 1. Back to the screen. Ramirez, as you've noticed, does from the right side of the plate what we saw Jim Thome do from the left side of the plate for so many years. Hold that bat extended out towards center field until the pitcher works himself into the stretch. Inside, and it's 2-1. Team, because the Twins were more committed to having him on the team than Jim Thome.
Looking for some pop off of that bench. Ramirez can play other positions than just DH.
Poke foul. 2-2.
Ramirez 130 minor league home runs. At the major league level, he has 1 that came as a Tiger back in 2009. Actually in his major league debut, he hit a home run off of Matt Harrison with the Texas Rangers. His only major league home run.
2-2. Behind Joe Vavra, dribbled over by the camera well.
Vargas with Seattle last year, now with the Angels, kind of playing in his backyard. He grew up in Apple Valley, California, which is near Victorville, not too far from Orange County.
There's an Apple Valley in California.
Apple Valley, California.
Inside, and it's 3-2 with Hicks on deck.
There are his career numbers: 42 and 51, 7 complete games, 3 shutouts in his career. This is his 9th major league season. He's also teammates of Jarrett Weaver in 2004 at Long Beach State.
Ramirez chases what would have been ball 4, but he gets a piece of it to keep the at bat alive.
He turns the ball over a little bit. You can see the movement on that ball. That's that changeup. Worked both sides of the plate. Pretty good control throughout his career for Vargas.
Another 3-2 pitch. Protecting the plate again. He flips it foul.
Brian Dozier had a 10-pitch at bat to lead off the bottom of the first inning. So far, 8 pitches in this at bat. Joe Mauer had 6 pitches before he got a base hit from Vargas.
Vargas again on 3-2. Toward the hole and through. Doman had to hold up. No chance he's going to run on Mike Trout's arm anyway. So a base hit, a long at bat for Ramirez, and a base hit, first and third, one away for Aaron Hicks. You can be a part of our broadcast. Vote for who you think is the Arby's Value Player of the Game. Just text value, a space, the player's last name to 234-234. And cast your vote for who you think had the most value in today's game, and we'll tell you the winner of the postgame show. Hicks, when he has played, has been the leadoff batter until tonight, hitting 8th, and an RBI spot for him, first and third with one away.
I talked to Tom Bernansky, the new hitting coach, about Hicks this afternoon before batting practice, and just trying to get him to calm down a little bit. Just relax, let his natural ability take over. Tom just felt sometimes he's just leaning toward. It's kind of like a pitcher if you're rushing out there. You're trying to get him to stay back a little bit, kind of put more weight on that back foot, that back leg. There's Bruno.
And he takes ball 1. Hicks entered the game late for defensive purposes and had 1 plate appearance. He ended up walking, but within the plate appearance was maybe an encouraging sign. He had a 1-2 count. He was given a curveball, and we've seen him swing and miss at the low breaking pitch before, but he took that curveball, ended up drawing a walk. And the Twins are hoping that there's a nugget there, something that Hicks can hang on to and start rebuilding his confidence.
Well, you're hoping in this situation, if you're an Aaron Hicks fan, a Twins fan, that he gets a pitch right here, that he can drive somewhere, pick up the RBI.
No problem in spring training doing that. I hate to keep harping on it, but he looked like a polished, seasoned hitter in March. 1-1. Lifts an off-speed pitch, foul, 1-2.
Well, one thing I asked Bruno too, I said, Tom Bernansky, I said, you see him pressing at all? And he said, oh no, Bert. He said, this young man has a lot of confidence, and you know what? He just needs to just get the good wood on the ball for a couple good at bats. So everybody pulling for Aaron Hicks, and you always look at a youngster that struggles like that. That if you give up on yourself, then you're in trouble. Never give up on your ability. He has a lot of it.
Foul back. Well, one advantage here in his first plate appearance, Vargas has already thrown 34 pitches. And Hicks had the benefit of doing what he tried to do for all the hitters that followed him as a leadoff batter. He got a chance to sit and watch Vargas's delivery, his repertoire of pitches, what the ball looked like coming out of his hand. We'll see if there's any immediate benefit here in his first at bat. One and two. And he takes a pitch low.
Good take right there. Make him bring the ball up. And Marv Vargas had thrown a lot of pitches, 39 so far, 27 for strikes.
Two and two to Aaron Hicks. And now full count with Florimon on deck. When a pitch was in the dirt, and you say, wow, you shouldn't have swung at that anyway. The point is, Aaron Hicks was swinging at pitches like that. And he's laid off in back-to-back plate appearances some pitches that he has shown vulnerability to.
Well, we've seen Aaron, too, miss some pitches, and that's what Bruno talked about, too. You know, you cannot miss that fastball right there. He was fouling it straight back, and sometimes just a timing mechanism. So keep the weight back. Wait, hopefully Vargas will throw you a cookie right here and hit it hard somewhere.
Ramirez chased back to the bag. Ball four fills them up. So Hicks again fell behind 1-2. Ended up working out a walk by taking at least one pitch that was fairly close.
Yeah, that'll bring out pitching coach Mike Butcher out to the mound. Quick trip to the mound by Mike Butcher.
Loaded up with one out. This week, two players are chasing history on the World Poker Tour. Pro Theo Jorgensen is looking to become the first player to win the same event twice, while Hollywood producer Matt Salzberg is looking to write a fairy tale ending for his poker story. Sorry, it just sounds funny to me. Tune into the WPT Grand Prix de Paris, presented by ClubWPT.com Sunday to see who claims the title in the City of Lights.
Don't you think it's just going to be the kind of cards that he gets? If he gets dealt a couple aces, well, then it's going to be a good story.
I don't know.
What if he gets dealt a 2 and a 3? It won't be a good book.
Florimon delivered a run-producing hit last night, and in his first plate appearance here tonight, got a chance to do some damage. First baseman Trumbo is in on the grass at first base. Outside ball one. A little curious placement of Trumbo, who's starting the pitch a step or two in on the grass.
Maybe thinking squeeze, maybe that push bunt toward first base, take that away from him. I know Florimon wants an extra base hit here, like he did in last night's ball game.
Fouled away, 1-1. Three singles for the Twins so far. Now the walk to Hicks, filling the bases with one out.
All the hits for Florimon have come as a left-handed hitter. 0 for 5 so far as a right-handed hitter.
Fly to center. Borges circling around it. Tagging is Domet. It's a short fly ball, and the throw coming to third base. So a sacrifice fly. Florimon's driven in his 5th run of the year. I expected the throw to come home, but maybe the smart move was throwing it to third.
I don't know. I would like to have that throw come toward the middle of the diamond, because you might get that runner at second base, being Hicks, maybe tagging up and trying to maybe get him in a rundown.
It's a good throw toward home plate at the cutoff man. The guy from second's not going to advance to third anyway, right?
Yeah.
All right, here's Dozier. Hit a fly ball to center after a long at bat in the 1st inning. Inside, up around the hands. 45 pitches already for Vargas. And he's only recorded 5 outs. Nice dig by Iannetta, and it's 2-0.
Yeah, Vargas's last start in Anaheim was against the Oakland A's. He worked 5 2/3 innings, but he threw 102 pitches. So both outings, 5 2/3 innings. First outing of the year, 93 in 5 2/3 innings. Last outing, 102. So a lot of pitches thrown in a short amount of time.
2-0 to Dozier. Popped up. It'll reach the seats. And to be fair, what we've said about some of the Twins pitchers as they've struggled this year, a lot of foul balls, and that's contributed to the high pitch count here tonight at least.
Well, Vargas is not really a strikeout pitcher. He'll average about 5 strikeouts per 9 innings over his career. 14-game winner last year, though, for the Seattle Mariners in 33 starts. Worked 217 innings, something that the Angels liked.
3-1, and Mauer on deck. Last thing Vargas wants to do is have to face Mauer again here in the 2nd inning with the bases loaded.
And we saw it from Joe Blanton in last night's ball game, just nitpicking. You know, right on trusting your stuff. Get the ball over the plate. The tempo just gets slowed up. That's what I liked about Kevin Correa last night. Did a good job of creating a good tempo.
A walk to Hicks, now a walk to Dozier. And Mauer has a chance. He's already got 5 hits in this series, and now Vargas is going to face him with the bases loaded. There has not been a cheap hit among the 5 in this series. I mean, Mauer has centered every base hit he's gotten.
Yeah, and last night's ball game, his first at bat, that high double off the wall, and then the home run in his 3rd at bat, his 2nd of the year. Then added an RBI single between 1st and 2nd, and then another base hit up the middle for his 4th hit. And in here tonight in his 1st at bat, Vargas gave him a fastball middle in. He lined it right back up the middle.
Breaking ball. Spins over for strike 1. And you can see the anxiety on Joe's face that he's behind in the count, 0-1. And now the at-bat's just getting started.
You know, certain hitters were that way. Wade Boggs was that way. You know, it always seemed like 0-2, 0-2. Mike Hargrove was that way. Believe it or not, you know, I mean, it took forever to get in the box, but 0-2. He'd foul off 3, 4, 5 pitches. Somehow he'd get a base hit.
Inside 1-2.
You know, we pitchers sometimes aren't that smart. Only because, you know, you get ahead like that, and then what you try to do when you're 0-2, make a nasty pitch, and then you find yourself 3-2. Why don't you just throw the same pitch that you threw first pitch, second pitch, and get it over with? Does it sound like I'm talking to myself? Because that's exactly what I did on the mound. I talked to myself. Why are you doing that? I don't know. Why are you?
1-2 to Mauer. Headed up the middle and through. Ramirez scores. Hicks right behind him. It's 3-0. And Mauer having a marvelous series with 6 hits and 7 at-bats.
And he's driven in now 5 RBIs in these first 2 ball games. Well, Vargas got a hit. Breaking ball, strike 1. A little pitch by pitch. Then he goes to the fastball, gets ahead 0-2. Then he misses inside, and then tries a breaking ball again, and this time Joe taking it right back up the middle. Joe now with 6 RBIs on the year, and the Twins take a 3-0 lead.
That'll bring up Morneau. Twins still aren't done. Runners at first and third. Check swing, a foul tip, strike 1.
Just sense that would highlight this inning is a long fly ball off the bat of Justin Morneau.
How long?
About a 3-run home run long.
1-1. 55 pitches for Vargas. We're in the second inning. Pulled foul, 1-2. Morneau chipped his bat, hit a little soft flare behind short. Nice play by Roma in his first time up. Lifted to left, and Trout is there to end the inning. Good inning for the Twins. They take advantage of some control issues by Jason Vargas. They put a 3-spot up in the second. When we come back, Kevin Correa nice enough to stop by from the dugout. Starts for a Twin starting pitcher have come from the same starting pitcher, Kevin Correa, last night. 8 hits over 7 innings. Picked up his first win as a Twin. And he's pitched 7 innings or more in every start so far as a Twin. Kevin, awfully nice of you to join us from the dugout, but you have to be very happy with your start so far with your new team.
Yeah, it's going well so far. You know, we've gone out there and got some innings. That's what I wanted to do this year, moving over to the American League, is try to eat up some innings and keep us in the game late, give the bullpen a little bit of a rest.
You know, Kevin, most of my career was in the American League and also before the DH. But once they put the DH in the American League, and I think you've mentioned it, you kind of like it because, you know what, you're not being pinch hit for me sometimes in the 5th or 6th inning. You can go deeper in a ball game.
Yeah, you know, that happens quite often in the National League where you're throwing a pretty good ball game, but the situation is where you need someone to drive in a run, and they got to make that switch. And I was looking forward to have that opportunity to kind of have, you know, more of a chance to go deeper into ball games and see how late I can stay out there and really test myself.
Yeah, I use the word attack a lot up here, and that's what it seemed like you have done all 3 starts. You attacked the strike zone. Is that something that you enjoy doing? I mean, is that something you and Joe Mauer talk about? And, you know, even though Borges hit the home run last night, you didn't let it affect you. You went about your business.
Yeah, you know, that's kind of the way I like to pitch. I don't like to put any extra guys on base that with the walk. You know, those seem to always come back and hurt you, so I try to keep guys off the base as much as possible and, you know, throw a lot of strikes and keep guys off balance. And Joe's picked up how I like to throw pretty quickly. And, you know, if you I've given up a couple leadoff home runs to start games, and, you know, you got a lot of game left. You got to stay out there for a while, so you can't really sit out there and pout about it for too long, especially with the lineup those guys have.
What's your mental makeup? I think a lot of fans are interested because, you know, I gave up 430 of those damn things. But you know what? What's your makeup after you give up a home run? I mean, it's just a home run, right? Solo home run.
Yeah, solo ones are a little easier to deal with. You know, it's the ones with guys on base that kind of irk you a little bit. But you know, it's never a good feeling. But like you said, if you're out there long enough, you're going to. I've given up quite a few of them myself, so you learn to deal with it and move on.
Well, we're showing some highlights of some of the games that you have pitched. 3 so far. Very good earned run average at 2.95. Coming over to the American League, what's been your biggest adjustment so far, Kevin?
You know, I haven't made too many big adjustments except for just trying to learn the hitters in this league. I don't think guys hit that differently than in the National League. You obviously have the DH instead of a pitcher. But other than that, I attack hitters the same way I did pitching in the National League. And, you know, I'm relying on Joe back there to call some games until I get a little more experience against these American League hitters. But I've faced quite a few of them through interleague play, and I'm just trying to continue what I was doing the past couple seasons.
Luis Jimenez takes the strike. He's the second Angel batter here in the 3rd after Iannetta bumps the single to right.
You came up with the Giants, spent some time in San Diego, last couple of years with the Pirates before coming over here. How has the cold weather affected you?
You know, it makes things a little more difficult as a pitcher, but it's not anything I haven't had to deal with. You go play in cold weather spots no matter what team you're playing for. And, you know, if you get a little snow or a little rain, it's just something you got to deal with. Everybody's playing in the same conditions, and you just got to be mentally tough enough to kind of put that in the back of your head and really focus on what you're doing out there.
Mike Pelfrey out on that mound right now. Vance Worley, you 3 guys are kind of new to the organization. Are you guys kind of feeding off of each other?
Yeah, we're all coming in as guys who have pitched our whole career in the National League. This is all new to us, but we're all getting along real well, and we're real confident in each other going out there. You know, we really like backing each other and we talk a lot in between starts and on different scouting reports and way we're attacking hitters, because we're all kind of similar pitchers as far as getting ground balls and not striking out a lot of guys, and, you know, trying to throw a lot of strikes, so we can really learn a lot from each other.
A couple double plays turned behind you last night. That pitcher's best friend, that's what I call that.
Yeah, it is. I've been fortunate to get quite a few of them here.
Drilled to left off to the wall on one hop. Ramirez firing it to second base, and it's a double by Jimenez. 2nd and 3rd with nobody out.
Hey, Kevin, we're going to let you go. Thank you very much. We'll get you on the air, and there's 2 base hits, so we're going to get you off right now.
Yeah, I got to get out of here.
Okay. Thank you very much, Kevin Correa.
Thank you.
So 2nd and 3rd, the 7 and 8 batters put together a threat here against Pelfrey. Twins jumping out in front 3-0. And now Andrew Romine will hit. And then Borges, Trout, so on and so forth.
Yeah, Iannetta had a pretty good at-bat and you know, fought that pitch off and hit it between 1st and 2nd into right field. That ball right there to Jimenez left up, and he hammered down that left field line.
Outside ball one. Romine getting the chance to start at short. He and Brendan Harris platooning, if you will, or alternating, with Eric Ibar on the disabled list with a sore heel.
Now, Romine in his 4th season with the Angels, up and down, most of the time at the minor league level. Pretty good baseball family. His father, Kevin Romine, played outfield for the Boston Red Sox for 7 seasons. He's got a brother, Austin, that's a catcher in the New York Yankee organization. Got some good baseball blood in him.
1-1 to Romine. Foul, and it's 1-2.
Heading the count right here. 1 ball, 2 strikes. You find out, okay, what is his strikeout pitch? What is Pelfrey going to use right here? He needs a strikeout. He struck out Mark Trumbo in the 2nd inning on a good sinker down and in, but that was a right-handed hitter. Romine hitting as a left-handed hitter. You think strikeout right here on this pitch.
So far, Pelfrey with just 3 strikeouts, though, on the season. 1-2. Missed inside 2-2.
Pelfrey at 6'7", about 250, 29 years old. 7 seasons with the Mets before coming over to Minnesota.
Inside now, full count. Borges on deck. Most of the Twins infield playing back. Plouffe about even with the base at third base. Big pitch here for Pelfrey, who had a tough time controlling damage against the Royals. When they would threaten, they would score. He was only out there for 2 innings.
You don't want to walk Romine right here. You have to make him swing the bat.
And he missed low, and they're loaded up. The 7, 8, and 9 batters fill them up with nobody out.
That's the worst of all of them, that walk right there, because now the top of the lineup comes up.
Get interactive with us during the broadcast with our AT&T Twitter poll. This week starts a new question. Which division will be the most competitive this season? Tweet your answer using the following hashtags. Hashtag 2013 AL East, AL West, or AL Central. And we'll continue the poll throughout the game Sunday in Chicago and give you our final results. Borges did a little pop-up into short right center field. Dozier made a nice play retreating on the ball. He's got Borges to bounce into a double play last night. They'd like that opportunity again here in the 3rd. Inside, ball 1. Pelfrey pitched against the Royals. The first 5 batters reached and scored. He could not extract himself in situations like this. Do a little damage control. He'll try it again here. Foul back, 1-1. And that maybe is one of the most impressive things about our guest, Kevin Correa. He's had a few 1, 2, 3 innings, but he's also had guys on base but pitched around to trouble more than he's pitched into it.
Just my opinion, what I see up here, I just see Pelfrey pitching inside way too much. I saw that first couple innings. He established that fastball away, got a head out there, and then he struck out Trumbo on that good sinker down and in. He's gone trying to go in on Borges twice already with a fastball. Watch Mauer move. Inside again.
Out there, and no relay. Dozier spins and looks at third. Iannetta scores. It's 3-1.
I just think you have to work both sides of the plate. We saw that in that bat with Billy Butler in Kansas City his last start. 3 fastballs inside. Finally, he tried to go in there again, and Butler opened up and hit that double down the line. That ball did get into the kitchen of Borges, But a run does score, and Peter Bourjos picks up his third RBI.
Now Trout. Fly ball to Hicks in center his first time up.
Keep an eye on Bourjos at first base. Outstanding speed. Has yet to attempt a stolen base.
And again, working Trout inside, missing with a fastball. Twins did some running on Mark Lowe, a reliever, last night because he was very deliberate to the plate. Pelfrey is also very deliberate to the plate.
Yeah, when you're saying deliberate, you mean that left knee comes up a little bit, maybe above the belt, and that allows maybe a speedster like Bourjos one extra step towards second base. Quick throw over. Again, this is a big man, 6'7". Sometimes it takes them a little bit longer to, get that body ready to go toward home plate.
Off the outside corner, and it's 2-0.
That looked like the breaking ball right there, just missed down and away.
Trout, who late in the 2011 season made the jump from Double-A to the big leagues, the very jump that Aaron Hicks is trying to make at the start of this season. Two and 0. Got him on a breaking pitch to swing and miss.
Well, almost like a little cutter right there. That's the pitch I'm talking about right there. You establish that, and then you go in for a purpose. That's a nasty pitch, especially as tall as he is and the angle that he can generate. Take a look right there. That is a perfect pitch. That's hard for a right-handed hitter to reach out there unless he's committed to hit it the other way, but not in a 2-0 count. Trout's looking to hit it into the upper deck.
I don't know what that pitch was. It didn't have much slide or cut to it. It just kind of spun up there.
Just a good fastball away.
Inside again, 3-1. Well, Pelfrey is into the same rut that Vargas was in, where he's just missing on his with his fastball. His control is off.
Yeah, 2-1 fastballs inside to a guy like Mike Trout, they open up pretty quickly. And to me, that's a dangerous pitch. That ball was inside. Now he's behind 3-1. You almost have to say, okay, it has to be out over the plate. Now Mike Trout, I'm sure, is going to be leaning a little bit, looking for that pitch away.
Drilled to left, a base hit. It's a 3-2 game. Jimenez scores.
Ball behind the good hitters like Trout, you have to come in with a fastball. He's going to be sitting on it, and that's exactly what he did. He kind of leaned into that and looking for that fastball and just drove that ball hard through the infield. And Trout picks up his third RBI of the year.
So Iannetta and Jimenez have scored here in the third. Pujols at the plate, the tying run at second. Now, if you can get the ball on the ground off of Pujols' bat, you should be able to turn a double play. As we said last night, he's got.
That's Bobby Cuellar out there, not Rick Anderson.
Trying to find out why Rick Anderson is not making the trip to the mound. Pujols has got problems with both legs. He's not running well at all, so there's a double play waiting to happen if Pelfrey can get Pujols to hit it on the ground at somebody.
Keep an eye on him.
Missing the inside corner.
So one thing I would talk to Mike Pelfrey about too is also picking up the tempo a little bit. Everything is really slowed down here
Since guys got on base.
Right, a lot of your defense is going to start on their. They're going to stand on their heels a little bit if you don't pick it up.
1-0. Strike call, and Pujols looks back at Nauert. That ball looked like it was outside.
Well, that's that fastball away. You find out what that umpire will give you. And even though Joe Mauer, you see him setting outside. And again, that's the ball that an umpire sometimes guesses on because of the angle he has.
Made the announcement here in the press box now that Rick Anderson's away from the team for personal reasons. One night only, they hope. 1-1 to Pujols. Another solid single to left. Romine round second. He's coming in. Ramirez's throw coming through, not in time, and it's a tie game.
Yeah, that's the speed of Borges right there at second base. He did not hesitate on this base hit to left field.
Excuse me, Borges, not Romine.
Yeah. Tried to go inside again, and Pujols opening up quickly and driving that ball, picking up his 8th RBI of the year. And it's a 3-3 tie.
Still first and second, still only one out. And here's Josh Hamilton lined out to center fielder Hicks, his first time up. On the ground, Dozier to Florimon, inning-ending double play. In the inning, 4 hits, 3 runs for the Angels, and we're tied. Is presented by CenturyLink, your link to what's next. By Grand Casino, the best stories start here. And by Sanford Orthopedics and Sports Medicine, for the everyday competitor in all of us. A 3-0 Twins lead didn't last very long. Try to build a second lead here in the bottom of the third. Here's a unique giveaway for the 2013 season, a rain gauge. Sponsored by Pentair. Be one of the first 10,000 fans through the turnstiles on Monday, the 22nd, for the game against the Marlins, and pick one up. Rainy weekdays and Mondays don't always have to get you down. That's the last time I'm going to read that Carpenter lyric, by the way. April 22nd. Trevor Plouffe to lead off the third inning, taking strike one. 1-1.
Well, both starters having ugly innings, and it's the starter who can rebound from that ugly inning. Vargas, a lot of pitches. This will be pitch number 60 already in the ball game.
One and two to Trevor Plouffe. Tap to the right side. And an easy play for Kendrick. 1-1. Bring up Ryan Doman. Wild hockey on Fox Sports North Plus tonight. They're in Edmonton taking on the Oilers, trying to make a playoff push. They dropped the puck at 8:30, and here's the channels where you can find Fox Sports North Plus. And if you don't see the carrier there, go to foxsportsnorth.com for complete details. One down. Here's Doman. Got an infield hit that triggered a 3-run second inning. And now 1-1. Changeup gets a swing and a miss. 1-2.
Hey, ball right here, do it. Right through it.
Pulled down the line, a fair ball. Doma with an infield hit his first time up, now an outfield hit. And it is a double with one out here in the third.
Vargas came back with another off-speed pitch, and he left it up. It allowed Ryan Doman to get the barrel of the bat out quickly, and he lined it right down that third baseline. Jimenez playing off the line, so that ball goes into the corner. By the time Mike Trout can get it back in, Doman with his 4th double of the year. For the Twins, their 5th hit.
Here's Parmalee. A bouncer to third his first time up. Strike on the outside corner. Inside, 1-1. Well, Vargas has gotten ahead of most of the hitters. Strike one. He's had a hard time backing that up with strike two. The only guy he's had 0-2 has been Mauer twice, and that hasn't worked out so well. Checked his swing and takes a strike. 1-2.
I pulled the string right there. Change up at 80 miles an hour.
He's got a big 2-out hit from Mauer to take a 3-0 lead, hoping Parmalee could deliver here. A check swing and a foul. Still 1-2. To left, and Trout plays it on a hop. Doman to third base. So Parmalee gets another hit. He's 5 for 10 against Vargas. First and third, one away.
Good hitting right there by Parmalee. Not trying to do too much. Got a pitch up a little bit and just hit it softly in front of Trout in left field. Looks like a little cutter, and Parmalee just going with it. Piece of hitting there.
Mike Butcher to the mound. No threat for the Twins in their half of the third inning. Fox Sports North presents Kids in the City, supported by Buffalo Wild Wings, celebrating the accomplishments of the Boys and Girls Club Youth at the 9th Annual Kids in the City event, April 25th at Target Field. Be a big adult pre-party at Fulton Brewery, silent auction, kids interactive activities, and more. You still have time to inquire about sponsorship and ticket information. Visit foxsportsnorth.com. Click on North Supports under the More tab. Wilkin Ramirez had a long at bat, ended up spanking a single to left. Domit's infield hit in the second inning led to 3 runs. Now his one-out double has given the Twins a threat in the very next inning. Remembering that Domit wasn't even in the original starting lineup, but he's got 2 hits tonight. Breaking ball to left field. Trout with the catch, tagging is Domit. Trout's throw to the plate, not in time. And Ramirez drives in a run with a fly ball, and the Twins are back in front.
Oh, Trout showing off his arm right there. Kind of slipped a little bit when he threw that ball. It was all the way to home in the air. But Domit scoring for the second time in a ball game on a sacrifice fly. Ramirez picks up his second RBI on the season. The Twins are up by 1.
Now Hicks, who walked and scored his first time up. Parmalee at first, 2 down. One thing the Twins did well last night, well, a lot of things, but early in the ballgame, the Angels scored and the Twins answered right away. Angels had a 1-0 and a 2-1 lead. Now the Angels have no sooner tied the game, and the Twins have scratched across another run here in the first opportunity. 1-0 to Hicks. Way out in front of the changeup, 1-1. Inside, and it's 2-1.
Average inning, what you would like is between probably 12 and 16 pitches to retire 3 outs.
Not 25 an inning.
Not 25 an inning like Vargas has thrown. This will be pitch number 75.
Way out in front of that changeup again. It's 2-2.
And all that means is your defense is out there for a long time. There are the 19 in the first, 38 in the second. This will be number 19 here in the third.
Two and 2 to Aaron Hicks. Sure where they think Parmalee's going. He's got a stolen base.
He does have a stolen base.
Keep an eye on him.
They're looking at the notes.
Two and 2 to the Twin center fielder. Tap to third. Jimenez digs out. There fires across on the one hop. Hicks is retired. The Twins get the lead back to the bottom of the third. When we come back, some special guests, the Gophers Women's hockey team national champ in an undefeated season.
At the top of the fourth inning at Target Field, I'm Marnie Gellner, joined by some special guests. Most of the Golden Gopher women's hockey team, the national champions, are here tonight and got to take part in throwing out the ceremonial first pitch. Megan Bozick and Bethany Browson are here next to me. Megan, national champions, back-to-back, first pitch tonight. You're kind of on your tour right now of celebration. What's it been like since you won?
Yeah, it's been exciting. Like you said, that we got to throw out the first pitch. We got recognized at the Senate, the House, at the Governor's Mansion yesterday. Got announced at the Wild game. A few of us got to say, let's play hockey, but the rest of the team got announced in center ice. So it's just been incredible. I'm glad that we get the recognition that we've deserved this year.
And Bethany, you guys were ranked number one for most of the season and undefeated, and you finished that way as well. There's a lot of pressure. Now that it's all over, how much are you enjoying all of this?
Yeah, like you said, there was a ton of pressure all year and stuff, and we tried not to feel that, but after a while it does get to you. And so I think that, finally, like you guys said, now we get to enjoy it a little bit. We get to go to the Twins game and do all those fun things she said. And so we're trying to relax a little bit and just enjoy each other's company and really relish in that way.
I know the state of Minnesota is very proud of the accomplishment. Back-to-back national champions, undefeated. Congratulations, guys.
Thank you so much.
And Dick and Bert, they're keeping warm. They're just huddled around a trophy here up in Section 104.
Unbelievable season, and congratulations to all those young women and the program.
Trumbo takes off, and the pitch tapped foul by Kendrick. So the Angels down a run, get a leadoff hit again, and Mike Scioscia puts on the hit and run. Kendrick bounced out to second his first time up, and for Mike Pelfrey, no problem in the first two innings. 6 up, 6 down, and then all sorts of trouble in the third. And he'll try to do a better job of limiting damage here in the fourth inning.
I got a big double play to end the third inning off the bat of Josh Hamilton.
Breaking ball away, and it's 1-1. Fouled away within the difficulty of the third inning. And, a glimmer of good news, I guess. The outs have come on the ground. When Pelfrey is successful, he gets ground ball outs. Early on, he was getting outs on fly balls, and now the last 4 outs have come on the ground. 2-2.
I got Kendrick to hit a ground ball to Dozier in the second inning. Get him to do that again.
Tap foul. Pelfrey lasted just long enough to pick up a win in his Twins debut, 5 1/3 innings. Another 2-2 to Kendrick. Busted bat. Florimon juggles it. They get the out there, relay to first, not in time. So the Twins get the lead runner on a ground ball that should have been a double play. They get just one.
Well, good reaction. You know, you don't like booting a ball like that, like Florimon did right there, but he went after it and quickly got it over to Dozier. A little short hop and a quick flip over to Dozier. They do get the lead runner, but Kendrick beats it out at first.
So now Iannetta, who grounded a base hit through the hole on the right side his first time up, that started a 3-run Angel inning. Kendrick more of a threat to steal than Trumbo, and he's checked right away by Pelfrey.
Angels have only 3 stolen bases, and Kendrick has 2 of those.
Mauer with a throw out early in the ball game last night. And Mike Scioscia talked about how Mauer defensively still has a great arm, mechanically very sound, and can, if his pitcher will give him a chance, can still shut down the running game. Florimon barehands it, and Kendrick could have been retired at second, but Florimon didn't realize it. Kendrick couldn't advance for fear that Plouffe might have caught the ball. Florimon just picked up the ball and ran it back to the dirt.
Another miscue right there by Florimon. He had a chance to get the lead runner because of the way the ball was hit. Plouffe jumped for the ball, and Florimon backed it up, got the first hop, and then didn't throw to second base. Kendrick was about halfway. He didn't know whether to go back to first or go to second. It'll be an infield base hit for Iannetta, his second hit of the ballgame.
Pelfrey's taking care of some bats here in the 4th inning, but he's in a jam with the tying run at second. And only 1 out. Here's Jimenez. Doubled hard into the left field corner his first time up. Pelfrey misses high, ball 1.
Well, these are the little things you cannot do on a nightly basis. You know, the double play should have been turned, and that ball right there, there should have been a force out at second.
There's a strike on the outside corner.
Take a look as Iannetta jams right here. Kendrick, he didn't know which way to go.
A little bit low, and it's 2-1. Pelfrey trying to pitch down there around the knees in the hopes of getting another double play opportunity. Now he's fallen behind Jimenez, 2-1.
Jimenez coming up, and with Kai Aspo, you know, with that injury, he's making the most out of his opportunity.
And Hicks with a little bit of a decoy that keeps Kendrick at third base. So now they're loaded up with one away. Wild hockey on Fox Sports North Plus tonight, taking on the Oilers. And the puck dropping a little while ago. And your chances, or your channels rather, where you can find the game on Fox Sports North Plus. If you don't see the carrier there, go to foxsportsnorth.com for complete listing. So another bases loaded situation, this time one out, the number 9 batter, Romine. Belfry made a big mistake in the third inning by walking the number 9 batter. Swing and a foul, 1 strike. 3 singles in the inning. Angels actually have 1 more hit than the Twins. Held without a base runner through 2 innings, and Belfry's been pitching almost exclusively from the stretch ever since.
Yeah, and that slows the game down. This will be pitch number 70 for Mike Belfry.
Sliced foul, 2 strikes. And everything you said during the Romine at bat last inning about Belfry needing a strikeout applies here now in the 4th inning.
What you want to throw him here is a hard slider down and in, or something hard, because of the 2 swings that he had right there. Swung through a fastball, then that last fastball he fouled over the Angel dugout. So he's a little tardy. You don't want to throw something off speed that's going to allow the barrel of the bat to get out front.
Missing the inside corner. It's 1-2.
And that's what he did in his last at bat on a 2-2 pitch. Went inside. Excuse me. A 1-2 pitch. Fastball in, missed. Again, another fastball in, missed, and then walked him. Throw that fastball right about his hands. See if he could shatter another bat.
Lorno playing in front of the runner at first. Missed up high with a fastball, and now it's 2-2. Anthony Swarzak warming up. Been a struggle for Pelfrey here in innings 3 and 4. Some of the difficulty hasn't been his own doing.
Right. You cannot give a club more than 3 outs an inning, and that's what the Twins are doing right here in the 4th.
And now the count's full again. So he got ahead of him 0-2. And Romine has patiently worked the count full. Another big pitch here for Pelfrey as he tries to wriggle out of a jam in the 4th. Foul back. Again, a fastball that he was late on.
Romine coming into this year, only in 3 seasons with the Angels prior to this year, only 27 major league games. So up and down with the Angels last couple 3 years.
Tapper to short. 1. And only 1. Romine beats Cerrila, and the Angels tie the game again.
Yeah, Romine known for his defense and his speed, and he beat that out. So Romine picking up his first RBI of the year. It's a ground ball to Florimon, and the throw a little bit on the outfield side. And the relay throw, Romine beat it out. Hustling down that line. We got a tie ball game again.
First and third, 2 down. Here's Borges. Popped up to right field. In the air a long time. And it settles in Parmalee's glove. Little damage control by Pelfrey, but the Angels tie it up.
The game at 4 apiece. Pepsi's fans of the game. Lady enjoying a ball game. There you go, young lady. You are hereby circled. Like spaghetti. Nice little meal here at the ballpark. Well, both starters have really struggled here in the into the 4th inning. Vargas has thrown 76 pitches in 3 innings, and right now Pelfrey 76 pitches in 4 innings.
Florimon will lead things off, and he takes strike 1. Now, what we've seen from Vargas is his ability to do this, but then he seems to nibble around a little bit too and misfire with his 2nd, 3rd, and 4th pitches. Swinging a foul tip, I think, at any rate 2 strikes to Florimon. Like it would have been ball 1 if Florimon had not swung at it.
Well, again, everything keys off the fastball. You have to be able to control your fastball so you can throw your off-speed pitches like that. Florimon just got a piece of that to keep the bat going.
Up high, 1-2. Florimon with a sacrifice fly his first time up, driving in the first run of the game. For the Twins dugout. It's hit to left, but hit right at Trout. 1 down. Fox Sports North and the Twins have teamed up this season on a special campaign called Home Runs for Hunger, benefiting Feed My Starving Children. For each home run hit, you can donate either 22 cents or $1.32 for 6 meals for a family. Once the Twins hit 130 home runs, you'll donate either $29 or $172. And the goal is to raise enough money to feed 620 children every day for over a year. And as of today, 55 fans have already pledged. And I think in terms of children helped, over 100 children fed for a year already, thanks to the generosity of Twins fans. If you'd like more information and to pledge, it's real easy to do. Go to fmsc.org/H4H or Home Runs for Hunger. One strike to Brian Dozier. And now a second strike.
Good curveball right there by Vargas. Seems to be attacking a little bit better here in the fourth inning.
Squirted foul right off the end of the bat. Twins haven't hit a home run yet tonight. They hit a couple last night. Vargas gives up quite a few home runs last year in Seattle. Half his games were in Seattle. For the Mariners, 217 innings and 35 home runs allowed.
Yeah, that's nothing.
Into right field, past Trumbo. Dozier has a base hit with one out.
Well, Dozier picking up his first hit of the ball game.
The Twins will take all of that from the likes of Dozier, and we saw Plouffe do it last night, using the whole field.
Well, you know, the thing is, you think about it. I mean, the leadoff hitter only leads off one time in a ball game. That's to start the ball game. Other than that, here Dozier came up twice already. He walked in the second inning. He didn't lead off that inning. And here, with one out, gets a base hit to right field. Gets more at bats.
Outside, ball one. Bauer with 2 more hits today, 4 last night. The average at 370. A strike. Again tonight, both hits have come with 2 strikes on it.
Always love this time of the year because Mauer, 6 hits and 7 at bats. You know, yesterday coming into the ball game hitting .298. Now he's at .370. And it's going to raise.
Unbelievable.
And it's on fire.
Dozier will hold up at second, but they're all squared up. You know, he's getting the barrel of the bat on every ball he puts in play.
That 4 hits in last night's ball game. His 3rd hit here already in his 3rd at bat.
We've seen periods like this. Remember that series he had against the Dodgers at the Dome a few years ago, where he was 10 hits and 11 at bats, something like that.
I mean, just fastball out over the plate, and Joe doesn't try to pull it. He just takes it where it's pitched, right into left center field.
Here's Morneau. Pulled. Wicked hop off the shoulder of Trumbo. Dozier will score. Mauer to third, and Trumbo's lucky he's got his teeth. What a wicked hop on what could have been an inning-ending double play ball.
Well, that ball was hit hard right there. Trumbo has to go to his right a little bit to try to just knock this ball down. And that ball came up on him. Wow. See him got his hand in the way of maybe his face. I sure hope they give Justin a base hit. And they do. An RBI single for Morneau. He picks up his 7th RBI of the year. Well, we've seen some official scoring here, which we just don't know. Mike Scioscia's seen enough. Jerome Williams will be coming into the ball game.
Another short start for the Angels. Vargas bailed out twice, a 3-run inning, and then another run, and another run so far here in the 4th.
Minnesota Lottery winner circle right now with $100 worth of scratch-off lottery tickets for Katerina and Lisa and the family from Royalton, Minnesota. And Katerina told me her boyfriend is at home studying for a test. He could not be here to enjoy the Twins fun. What message do you have for your boyfriend who's at home just studying away?
I love you. What? What did I do? And he's obsessed with baseball, so I'm really jealous that he couldn't be here today.
Well, that's what I'm thinking. You got to rub it in a little bit. You don't say I love you.
Well, I do love him, and I feel bad, but he's about to get his finance degree, 4-year degree, and I'm very proud of him.
What's his name?
Reed Voigt.
Reed, we're very proud of you, but you are missing out on some fun here tonight. Is that better?
Yeah.
Dick and Bert, and a circle for Katerina and Lisa as well.
Yep, you are hereby circled, and Reed, we love you too, man. Thanks for being a Twins fan.
I respect Reed. I don't know him well enough to say that I love him.
Come on. Gotta love everybody, man.
Royalton right up on Highway 10, or about 10 minutes
Come on, man.
east of
I
Bolus,
love you,
Minnesota.
man. I love you, man.
Bolus, Minnesota, home of the great boxing family, the Bobbicks. Jerome Williams delivers ball 1 to Trevor Plouffe.
Well, Williams, in his 3rd season with the Angels, making his 4th appearance on the year. Kind of a spot starter throughout his career.
One of those spots came against the Twins. We remember in early May last year, Jared Weaver threw a no-hitter at the Twins. Right before he did succeed in doing that, Williams nearly no-hit the Twins himself. 1-1 to Williams. Liner to Trumbo, and it's a double play with Morneau getting doubled off the bag. So the Twins will hand another lead to Mike Pelfrey as he takes the mound in the 5th. Lead his teammates have given him. And we're going to talk a little bit about sabermetrics here. It's the subject of our carsoup.com email question. Mark in Rochester wondering whether we, Bert and I, are fans of sabermetric stats. And here's what they are: specialized analysis of baseball through objective evidence, especially statistics that measure in-game activity. Acronym SABER, coined by Bill James. Red Sox obviously take it very seriously. They hired Bill James to be their sabermetrician.
I think if you saw the movie Moneyball, you know, Billy Beane, that's kind of the way that he used some of this to kind of put his organization together. I personally, I'm not a fan of it, but, you know, it's out there now. I mean, everything's out there now.
Swing and miss.
You know, Mike Trout, you know, he's one of these guys that they look at and say, you know, if he were to continue his career, he would be the, you know, the next Mickey Mantle. that type of situation with this young man right here. But you know, he still has to get through his second full season first, see how he does.
Down at 08, 2-1. Well, here's an example. The power speed formula.
Oh, the math. This is California math at its finest.
And there is a value to Trout because he runs very quickly, fast, and has a great deal of power and steal bases. 2-1. You know, your question, or the question directed to you, here's the power speed number in the rookie seasons, and Trout was off the charts, better than Tommy Agee, Devon White, who was, I think, a center fielder of yours at one point, wasn't it?
Right, in Anaheim.
3-1. And Trout swings and misses. But they're interesting to me. I like it when they support what fans or I can see on the field, that Mike Trout's a really good ball player, so that part's fine. But they're asking you this, and truth be told,
I don't think a lot of the average fans don't care about that. They want to see baseball.
Yeah. Full count to Trout, and he misses inside, and Pelfrey has again put himself in a situation where he's got to pitch from the stretch. But truth be told, now, I mean, let's be honest, you got a hard time making change for a 20, right?
No, I don't. I don't have problems with that. You know what? I think some of that helped me get into the Hall of Fame because, you know, these so-called experts, you know, said, you know, hey, if I had the average run support, I remember I saw this one time, I would have won 340 some games. Well, I won 287. I guess I didn't have the average run support. Did that help me? I don't know.
Pujols takes
it didn't help me when I was out on that mound.
Pelfrey now has got to deal with Trout's speed at first, Pujols' power at the plate, trying to get the ball down in the hopes that he can get a ground ball hit at somebody here. Pujols lined a double to left, or single to left field his last time up. Skied in the air, playable for somebody. Four infielders converge, and Plouffe lunges to make the catch.
That's where the pitcher kind of has to be the captain right there. Jim Cott was one of the best at that. When he picked somebody, and it was Plouffe that was really unsure. You could almost see he was unsure of catching this ball. All four infielders converge right there. And it's Plouffe that kind of, at the last second, stuck his glove out. And there's Mike Pelfrey just kind of standing there. He's got to listen and then call somebody's name. And it was Plouffe that ended up making the catch.
So Plouffe does make the catch. The batter is now Hamilton. If he had not made the catch, they would have had the opportunity to take Trout's speed off the bases, but don't want to let the ball hit that high in the infield, drop on the ground.
Well, especially with all four infielders in, who's at second?
That's true. There was nobody to take the throw. Good point. Hamilton bounced into a double play his last time up, and he fouls it back. Aaron Hicks is fast in center field, but probably not that fast.
Probably not that fast, no.
One strike.
Who was it? Jock Jones, I remember one time at the Met. He got into a rundown, actually. There was a ball hit and something happened, and there was a runner between second and third, and Jock Jones somehow got into the play and was part of the rundown. That's fast.
Off the plate, 1-1. Swarzak is warming up again. I don't know that Pelfrey's going to have the longest leash here. Having been given his third lead of the night, albeit just a one-run lead this time.
Well, the first two innings, Pelfrey needed only 26 pitches. The last couple, third and fourth inning, needed 50 pitches to get through the third and fourth.
And again, to be even eligible for a win, he's got to complete 5 innings. So
87 pitches. Hopefully he can get another ground ball off the bat of Hamilton. Are you a big user of the cybernetics?
No, I'm not.
No, neither am I. I mean, I know we both do a lot of research for each game, and I don't. Not the war and all the other stuff. WAR.
Wins above replacement. Two and one to Hamilton. And he reaches across the plate and flips it foul. 2-2. Hamilton has been, and particularly has been this year, very strikeout prone. Hamilton is 0 for 2 tonight. 17 strikeouts in 53 at bats. He's put the ball in place 2 times, or in play. Runner goes, and the pitch driven deep to right. It will hook and hook foul.
Yeah, even though he has struck out a lot, he can do that too. 43 home runs last year, a career high, drove in 128 runs. That all with the Texas Rangers.
Another 2-2 to Hamilton. Seen most first basemen these days play off the bag and holding a runner. Morneau has a conventional hold of Trout at first, which really opens up the hole on the right side of the infield for the left-handed batter. Trout goes, and the pitch lifted foul over the Angel dugout. So Trout's gone on the last 2 pitches.
Trout 1 for 1 in stolen base attempts. Last year led the American League with 49 stolen bases.
Trout stays put, and Hamilton taps it foul. Swing and a miss. He got him. 2 down. On a pitch off the plate, Trout stayed put and remains there now with 2 out.
And Pelfrey picks up his second strikeout. He got Trumbo on a strikeout in the 2nd inning. And Hamilton, the 2nd out of the inning.
And that'll bring up Mark Trumbo. Singled his last time up. Slow breaking ball over for strike 1.
Yeah, well, you mentioned Ramirez does the same thing that Jim Thome does.
Right.
Trumbo does the same thing. Kind of holds that bat out there. This is a big, strong man right here, Trumbo. Grew up right there in the Anaheim area with the Villa Park High School, the same school that my 2 oldest children went to. Chance to play at home every day.
Sing inside, 1-1.
Signed out of high school back in 2004 in his 4th season with the Angels. All that is, too, is a timing mechanism for those hitters to kind of hold the bat out there.
Charlie Manuel is the one that got Jim Thome to do it when they were in the minor leagues together. Charlie.
Swarzak should be warm.
Off the plate, 2-1. It has been a struggle for Pelfrey ever since the 3rd inning began and the Twins gave him a lead. Everything happened so quickly in the first 2 innings. Quick at bats, boom, 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 off the field. And it's been just the opposite in innings 3 through 5. Bounce left side. Blue picks it up, sets and fires in time to get Mark Trumbo a scoreless 5th. The Twins lead this time is held.
Twins up by a run, 5-4 lead. This copyrighted telecast presented by the authority of the Minnesota Twins and may not be reproduced or retransmitted in any form. And the accounts and descriptions of this game may not be disseminated without the express written consent of the Minnesota Twins.
Ryan Doman leading off the 5th inning, taking ball 1, hitting against Williams now as a left-handed batter. Bounce to short, hit right at the shortstop, Romine. 1 away. And that'll bring up Chris Parmelee.
Yeah, Williams, 31 years old. He was born and raised in Hawaii, signed with the Giants back in 1999. He was out of baseball for a while. Pitched over in Taiwan, independent league, and then reemerged back with the Angels in 2011. He's pitched for the Giants, the Cubs, the Oakland A's, and the Nationals.
Swing and a miss by Parmelee, strike 1. Parmelee with a single that set up Ramirez in his sacrifice fly in the 3rd inning. Williams pitched a shutout against the Twins on May 1st, the day before Jared Weaver threw his shutout and no-hitter. It was his first shutout since June of 2003, a span of 8 years, 9 months and 4 days. One of the longest stretches between shutouts in Major League history, and the Twins, as I recall, just got one hit in the game.
I think the way that baseball is going now, you're going to see complete games being that far stretched out.
That's right. Right to the glove of Williams, and he fires to Trumbo. So Williams has faced 3 batters and gotten 4 outs. News and notes from around baseball: an 8th home run against the Royals for Justin Upton. Jake Arrieta with the latest of a well-pitched game, series of well-pitched games against the Rays.
The Rays are not hitting at all.
And the Mets got snowed out yesterday. They finally played. David Wright hit a couple of home runs. And the Mets won the first of 2. They're playing the second game now. The Mets actually lost the first game 8-4. They had everybody shoveling snow at Coors Field today, including Sandy Alderson, the general manager of the Mets. The owner of the Rockies, I guess, had a shovel. They just,
helped out.
But they got dumped on by a big blizzard. The Mets thought they had it bad here. Here's a drive to left center field off the bat of Ramirez, backhanded by Borges. And Ramirez, the proud Papa, missed the game yesterday, has 2 hits and a sacrifice fly in 3 at-bats.
I get another mouth to feed, so you know what? You better get some hits. And his second single of the ball game looked like a slider, just kind of hung right there. And Ramirez hit it sharply.
Hicks will hit next with 2 outs and a man aboard.
Twins get their 10th hit of the ball game.
Hicks with a walk, the run scored. And a bouncer to third. Those as right-handed batters against Vargas. Sidearm throw that hits Ramirez, and he asks for time. Williams slung his throw over to first, and I don't know where it got Ramirez, but he is stung by a pickoff throw.
Dave Prumer, the trainer, out there with Ron Gardenhire.
Again, the Twins are playing with a 2-man bench tonight. Jamie Carroll and Eduardo Escobar. Ramirez was supposed to be the designated hitter, but had to go out in left field because Darren Mastroianni re-injured his left ankle. I can only guess that the throw may have hit him under the helmet in the neck area.
Let's take a look right here.
Yeah. Right below the helmet.
It looked like square in the back. Right by the number 22.
And Ramirez is walking toward the dugout. And Ron Gardenhire's got to improvise. Josh Willingham, we were told, still is at the ballpark, but he is not feeling at all well. And Gardy looking in the bench. And it's going to be Escobar who's going to take Ramirez's spot on the bases, and then we'll have to wait and see what happens in the infield, remembering that Trevor Plouffe has spent some time in the outfield last year. But the Twins now are down to a 1-man bench, and they will check Ramirez thoroughly to see whether he's going to have any lingering effects of the pickoff throw. Hicks at the plate. In the dirt, ball 1. Twins have scored in every inning but the first. And Williams was able to get the first 2 outs here in the 5th. Escobar a threat to steal, more so than Ramirez was. And Hicks takes again, 2-0.
That changeup missing right there. Now Hicks has to be sitting on that fastball. Hopefully he can drive it somewhere. If it's a good strike.
Strike on the outside corner, and it's 2-1. Everybody giving signs. The Twins dugout, the Angels dugout. Two and one to Aaron Hicks. And again, kind of a sidearm shot over to first base.
Kind of a sling over.
That's the same spot that the third pitch was. It was called a ball. Now 3-1. Florimon on deck.
Escobar at first base has tried one stolen base, unsuccessful. Maybe a hit and run put on here.
There he goes, and it's ball 4. The throw comes through. Escobar will stay on the base after ball 4. Hicks draws a walk, and now Florimon to the plate.
Well, if anything, you look at Hicks's last 4 at-bats, 3 walks in his last 4 at-bats.
Right. Florimon with a run-scoring fly ball in the second inning and another fly ball in the 4th.
I'm just looking for a positive, that's all.
So's he.
Yes.
So's Tom Bernansky. And again, one of the problems Hicks has had is, I think the consensus is, he's gotten himself out a lot, and by taking walks, he's not done that. It's not a hit. And Mauer got a 4-hit last night, did wonders for his batting average, and if Hicks could someday have a 4-hit night,
that'll do wonders for his
batting average will triple. Here's Florimon with a chance to tack on another run or 2. Inside, ball 1. And Williams following a pattern of pitchers that just bring the game to a grinding halt with men on base. Vargas did it, Pelfrey did it, and now Williams. That ball bounces away from Iannetta. No advance for Escobar or Hicks.
Always tough to catch when you're sitting outer half of the plate and the ball is down and in. Iannetta kind of stuck his glove out there just to knock it down. Williams last year made 15 starts for the Angels. One of them, a very good one against the Twins in 32 appearances. Kind of a swing man, long man out of the bullpen for Mike Scioscia.
Three and 0 with Dozier on deck. Williams looking in at Paul Nauert when he hit the corner. But as you said, when the catcher sets up outside and you miss the strike zone inside, you're probably not going to get the borderline calls. And that walk loads the bases.
And that brings out Mike Butcher again.
Anthony Swarzak has thrown more pitches than Mike Pelfrey has tonight. Swarzak still warming up down in the bullpen. It looks like he'll enter the game in the 6th inning if we ever get there.
Oh, we're going to get there.
Dozier has reached twice, once on a walk, once on a single. Twins have taken 4 walks. They've got 10 hits. So far, 5 runs.
You need a good at-bat right here off the bat of Brian Dozier. Base hit in his last at-bat in the 4th inning. And later scored.
Inside, missed badly, ball 1.
Almost have to make him throw a strike. Maybe want to take a pitch right here. See if Williams can get one over.
And
he
now
does.
there's one over.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, you walk the 8 and 9 batters.
Right.
Trying to take advantage of some poor control by Williams. 1-1 to Dozier. Popped up, it'll reach the seats 1 and 2. Dozier's single was hit sharply to right field. He later scored in the 4th inning. That run is the difference in the game. Very little chance, I think, that this game's going to end up 5-4. Now I'm sure of it. Escobar scores. Hicks behind him. Throw to third. Cut off by the shortstop, and Dozier delivers a big 2-run single.
That's a huge hit right there for Brian Dozier. What a confident builder for Dozier. First time leading off a ball game. His 2nd straight hit, driving in a couple runs. Now with 6 RBIs on the year. Pitch by pitch, Williams fell behind, and then Dozier making a strike. Okay, then he got a high fastball, he fouled it back. And then Williams ahead in the count, went inside, and Dozier fought it off and hit it up the middle. Good solid swing, get the barrel of the bat out quickly, and he drove in 2 runs. Twins take a 7-4 lead.
And now Mauer, who already has 7 hits and 8 at-bats in this series. Ball 1. Tonight, Mauer's average has gone up 36 points. Two and 0.
Changeup missing down and away.
27 pitches for Williams and only 11 strikes.
That's not good.
Especially coming in relief of Vargas, who had control issues of his own. Down the middle. 2-1. Remember, Williams got the Angels off the field in the 4th inning on a line drive double play off the bat of Plouffe. This man is unbelievable. Trout's going to catch it, but Mauer blistered the ball to left field. And he is swinging the bat very, very well. The Twins had 2 more runs in the 5th. Pelfrey's out. There's Josh Willingham. He wanted to stick around and watch tonight, even though Twins really don't want to use him in left field. Instead, it'll be Eduardo Escobar, who did play a few innings out in the outfield in spring training.
Right.
And so he'll get a chance out there for the balance of this game with Ramirez taken out of the game.
Well, Anthony Swarzak coming into the ballgame for the Twins. Asked to put a quick 0 on the board here after the Twins take a 7-4 lead. Making just his 3rd appearance, but his last outing 4 innings for Swarzak. He, like Williams, kind of a long man for the bullpen on Gardenhire.
Strike 1 to Kendrick. Iannetta, Jimenez to follow. Kendrick reached in a fielder's choice. He hit a ball that should have been turned into a double play. Wasn't. Swing and a miss, 0-2.
Swarzak making his 3rd appearance. He last worked in Kansas City on the 9th. He worked 4 innings, gave up only 1 run. No walks, couple strikeouts. Twins lost that game 7-4, but Swarzak, that's kind of his job, the long man out of the bullpen.
Wow, that was quick. You said to pitch a quick top of the 6th inning. Yes. You can't do much quicker than that.
It's a good start. Swarzak picking up his 1st strikeout, his 4th strikeout in 5 2/3 innings so far this year. Good hard slider.
Chris Iannetta with a couple of hits for the Angels. Nothing but strikes so far from Swarzak. Very much appreciated by the players out in the field and in the Twins dugout. There might be some Angels players appreciative of that. Strike 2.
Well, Kendrick didn't like it. Iannetta hasn't liked it so far.
Down low, 1-2. Seven pitches so far, 6 strikes, 2 strikeouts, and 2 quick outs in the 6th.
Well, that's attacking right there. If I overuse that word, let me know. Attack.
When you use it with Casey Fiend, I think you can use it for Anthony Swarzak too.
You know what? Again, your defense is going to be a happy camper behind you when you're throwing strikes.
Here's Jimenez. He's picked up a couple of hits again here tonight. Playing for Alberto Callaspo at 3rd base. Callaspo's got a calf injury. And Mike Scioscia just came right out and said it yesterday before the game. He's not going to play here in Minnesota. So the Angels are playing with a short bench as well. Here's a pop-up near the Angel dugout, but it's backing out of play.
Boy, Jimenez, you know, a youngster, 25 years old in his 1st season. He got called up on April 12th when Callaspo had that calf problem. 7 hits and 14 at-bats. Young man, very good numbers in the minor leagues. Just looking for an opportunity. A .303 minor league hitter in 7 seasons with the Angels. So he's been biting at the bit to get up here. So far, so good.
2 strikes to Jimenez. Ten pitches, 9 strikes for Anthony Swarzak. Check swing. And no appeal.
I think Jimenez even turned around and looked at the umpire. This is the curveball right here, straight over the top. Wow, good pitch.
I think that might have had the knees. How about Anthony Swarzak? The first 5 innings of this game played at a snail's pace, and Swarzak comes out of the pen and strikes out the side.
You gotta love it.
Is presented by McDonald's. Catch a filet of fish extra value meal today. McDonald's, I'm loving it. And by Toyota. Let's go places. To find the nearest Toyota dealer and check out our current offers, visit buyatoyota.com. 7-4, the Twins have the lead as we go to the bottom of the 6th inning. And Justin Morneau takes down and away ball 1. Morneau, Plouffe, and Doumit facing Jerome Williams. Line foul. 1-1. And Morneau's cracked another bat. I don't know that anybody in baseball has gone through more bats than Justin Morneau this year. Fastball, 1-2. Morneau with an RBI single. He hit a wicked 2-hop smash that took a bad hop and nearly peeled Mark Trumbo's face off. 2-2. Great stop behind the second base bag, but Morneau beats it out. Romine nearly made a sensational play. A smash that hit the mound and nearly was turned into an out.
Yeah, that slowed it up a little bit because this was a rocket up the middle. Romine dove to his left and came up with it, and to throw a little bit off at first base, but Justin hustling down that line. Like Trumbo took his foot off the bag to retrieve that ball. Great effort right there by Romine.
Here's Plouffe, 0 for 3. Pops up on the first pitch. Kendrick calls for it. And Williams just ran out of the way and ran to first base. One down. Twins tickets for this season remain affordable and available starting at just $8. Special deals await for every day of the week. Check out the deal that works best for you and your budget. Visit twinsbaseball.com/tickets. Call 800-33-TWINS and get yours today. Here's Ryan Doumit, a couple of hits and a couple of runs scored. Down and in ball 1. the Angel dugout for some reason. At the knee is a strike. One of those games where if you're the manager, you're losing players left and right trying to get through the game, somehow find a way to win the game. And the Twins lineup has produced so far 7 runs again tonight. And Doumit originally wasn't in the lineup at all. But when Mastroeni went out with the reoccurrence of his ankle injury, Ramirez went to left, Doumit the designated hitter. Then Ramirez went out after being hit by the Aaron Pickoff throw. One of the options, Doumit, who saw a lot of time in the outfield last year for the Twins, but of course if you did that, moved him out of the designated hitter spot to take over in left field, then you lose the designated hitter for the rest of the game. This one pulled on the ground. Kendrick with a nice pickup. Force at second, and no chance to get Doumit at first. 2 down, and Parmelee will bat. Go behind the scenes to see how Minnesota Vikings cheerleaders compete to make this year's team. Part 2 of the 3-part series coming up Friday at 10:30. Only on Fox Sports North.
Yeah, Doumit hitting that ball sharply. Kendrick making a nice play. They do get the force out at second. Doumit at first with 2 outs.
Here's Parmelee, 1 for 3 on the day. Slice foul, 1 strike. Rolls away from Iannetta, and Doumit advances into scoring position.
Good alert base running right there by Doumit. He saw that ball get away, and he gets into scoring position. Again, Iannetta sitting, outer half of the plate, the ball down and in, and gets away from him. Williams will be charged with a wild pitch.
Covers the inside corner.
Come on.
High and tight. 2-2. And called third strike.
Backdoor breaking ball.
Got him looking. And Doumit left at second base. Anthony Swarzak came out of the pen and gave the Twins exactly what they needed.
Yeah, 12 pitches, 10 for strikes, and yeah, by the way, he struck out the side. Used to be a snapper mowing down inning, and Anthony Swarzak did that. He gets a good new mower, I think. But overall, the last 9 ball games, the bullpen has been outstanding. Combined 33 in the third innings. Figure it out, fans. That's a lot of innings out of that bullpen, but a combined 1.6 ERA. And really, overall, I mean, on the season, combined together, bullpen 2.44, 3 wins, 1 loss, a couple saves out of that bullpen. They have done a great job.
Romine moves up the batter's box, takes a strike. Of course, what else from Swarzak? 1 strike. Romine, then Borges and Trout. A lot of speed sent up by the Angels this inning. Tap to the right side. Dozier charges, nearly stumbled, and then flips it to Morneau one away.
That's a tough little play right there for Brian Dozier. That ball kind of almost ate him up, but he made the play. Watch him go to his left right here, that little short hop, and then flips it over to Morneau for the first out.
You know, Dozier, though, has seen Romine play and has seen his speed. He needed to attack that ground ball rather than just sliding to his left, because Romine could have beaten that ball out.
Right.
A good approach by Dozier to get the first out. And now here's Borges. Ball 1.
You can kind of tell by the player's reaction on, you know, how tough that was. That little short hop, that's not easy.
Really been impressed with Dozier and his ability to go to his left. We haven't seen him be asked to make many plays going to his right, but he really seems to have really good range going to his left.
A former shortstop, you know, he's got good range no matter where you put him.
1-1 to Borges. To center. And Hicks is there for the catch. 2 down. Tyler Mason talked to new Gopher basketball coach Richard Pitino today about the direction Pitino will take the team. Read Tyler's story now at FoxSportsNorth.com. 2 down on the 7th. Here's Mike Trout.
Well, hopefully he said he's going to take him up.
Well, wouldn't that be a scoop if he said, my goal is to never make the NCAA tournament.
Right.
It's strike 1. My dad won the national championship. I hope personally I don't win a game next year. Another slow breaking ball, and Swarzak just great tonic, not only for the Twins players but for the fans here too, picking up the tempo.
And that's the key word right there, the tempo.
Probably our viewers at home appreciate it as well. How about that? 6 up, 6 down, 4 strikeouts, 2 perfect innings for Anthony Swarzak.
and spring became the summer. Who'd have believed you'd come along? Hand, touching hands, reaching out, touching me, touching you. Sweet Caroline.
They've done this around baseball today. Escobar with a base hit to right field.
Sweet Caroline.
Yeah, a Fenway Park tradition. And around baseball, they've done played Sweet Caroline to pay tribute to those affected by the terrorist attack yesterday near the finish line of the Boston Marathon.
Again, our prayers go out to everyone involved in that.
Escobar with a hit. Hicks will try to follow up with one of his own. Escobar with a hit in his first plate appearance. He entered the game as a pinch runner after Wilkin Ramirez left the game, being hit by Williams' pickoff throw. 2 walks, 2 runs scored for Hicks tonight.
Now, Williams giving up his 4th hit in relief of Jason Vargas, who worked the first 3 1/3 innings. Gave up 9 hits, 5 runs, all earned, with a couple walks and no strikeouts.
Never seen anybody do what Williams does. Every pickoff throw is sidearm.
Yeah, slings it over.
If he delivers to the plate here, it's pretty much over the top. Fastball outside. Hicks has walked in 3 of his last 4 plate appearances and scored in each case. But what he really wants to do is get 3 hits in 4 at bats. Popped up near the Angel dugout. Jimenez has room. 1 away. And that'll bring up Florimo. Florimo with a sacrifice fly. A fly ball on a walk. Jared Burton warming up. Fouled at the plate, a strike. I think to the surprise of just about everybody with the Twins coming out of spring training, the Twins are thrilled with Florimo's approach at the plate, but disappointed with how he's played in the field.
Yeah, and it was kind of the other way around. You know, they're expecting a little better defense, but
another base hit. And Escobar goes to second. So Florimo 1 for 2 today. He is now 8 for 23 with a couple of doubles, 4 runs batted in. He's walked 6 times and only struck out 3 times. And the Twins would love those numbers extended over the full season. And now Brian Dozier.
Dozier got the big hit in the 5th inning that knocked in a couple runs. His 2nd hit of the ball game. Bases loaded in the 5th, came up with a big 2-out, 2-run single.
Down low, ball 1. Because Hicks has struggled and he's been in the leadoff spot most of the time. Mastroianni's been in there a couple of times. The Twins aren't used to a leadoff batter being on base 3 times like Dozier has been. Inside, 2-0. CenturyLink to what next? Another Joe Mauer at bat. 3 for 4 today with a line out in his only other at bat. To Dozier. And the corner is called.
A quick slider right there, down and away.
Chop foul, and it's 2-2. Foul back, still 2-2. The Twins with a nice night at the plate last night. Plenty of run production. 7 runs so far here tonight. A disappointing series, of course, with the Mets.
A season high 14 hits for the Twins.
Speed pitch lifted to right. Hamilton in. That's out number 2. So now Mauer comes to the plate, and he is locked in. He has hit 4 bullets here tonight.
Yeah, his first at bat against Jason Vargas, a base hit, and then in the second inning, a 2-run single. In the 4th inning against Vargas again, another base hit. His last at bat in the 5th inning, he hit the ball sharply right on the button, but right at Mike Trout out left field.
That's the series we were talking about. 9 for 10 in the series. A 4-hit game and a 5-hit game. 2 on, 2 out here in the 7th. The only time he has been retired other than his lineup in his last at bat, he struck out yesterday. So he's put the ball in play 8 times and squared it up 8 times. He's in one of those stretches where you sit back and you watch, you marvel, you appreciate it, and you are reminded why, if he stays healthy, he'll be the next Twin to go into the Hall of Fame. He is a hitting machine. Two and one.
Went through a changeup right there. Joe took it. Not the one he wanted.
Well,
that's almost like that's the way it is, you know. I'm going to keep taking a pitch until I get the one that I want, that I can hit hard somewhere.
He's got 21 hits this year. 15 of them have come with 2 strikes on him. And now he's got 2 strikes.
Kirby Puckett, all-time Twin leader in 4-hit games. Rod Carew, Tony Oliva, some pretty good names right there. That's a lot of 4-hit games.
A lot of batting championships too.
Yes.
Just missed the inside corner. Williams needed that pitch because it wasn't called. It was in off the plate.
Well, Twins have some speed on the bases. They'll be taken off. Escobar at second. Florimon at first.
Full count to Mauer. Runners go. Sliced foul. And he's going to get a different bat. I mean, that bat has given him 7 hits. And now it'll end up in the pro shop or wherever Joe's broken bats go these days.
My trunk.
You gonna try to get that one, are you? Well, we'll see if there's any hits in that new bat.
Oh, I bet there are.
To the left and down for a hit. The softest ball he's hit all series long, and it's another 4-hit night for Joe Mauer.
And most importantly, drove in another run.
Escobar scoring from second base.
Joe drove in 3 runs last night. He drives in his 3rd run here tonight.
Now, was that his first hit tonight, his second hit tonight, or his 3rd hit tonight? His 4th hit tonight. Any of the hits last night, his head is down on the ball. Still a little soft line drive in front of Trout. Williams is done. He's given up 3 hits and a run here in the 7th. And so far, the Twins have doubled up the Angels. It's 8-4. Down the lineup, and maybe not a coincidence that the resurgence offensively has been centered around Joe Mauer, a pair of 4-hit nights.
Well, Dane De La Rosa coming in. He worked in last night's ball game, came in the bottom of the 8th inning, did give up a base hit to guess who? Joe Mauer, but threw 12 pitches, 10 for strikes, making his 5th relief appearance. De La Rosa started the season in AAA, got called up on April 9th when Jarrett Weaver was put on a disabled list.
Strike 1 to Morneau. A couple of hits for Justin in the ball game. The Angels starting pitching, the ERA for their starters this year so far is over 6. 2 strikes. After Vargas' short start here tonight. And as a result, the bullpen has been overtaxed with all those short starts.
De La Rosa, one of those guys that he went to spring training with the Rays and then traded over in late March to join that bullpen.
popped up short center. Romine out. That ends the inning. Another Joe Mauer hit. Another run for the Twins. They lead by 4. Whole bunch of hitting by the Twins.
A lot of hits. 15 hits for the Twins here tonight. Joe Mauer with 4 of the 15. Everybody contributing. Brian Dozier getting some big hits in that leadoff spot. Ryan Doumit driving in some runs, getting a couple hits, scoring a couple runs. Ramirez, before he left the ball game, got a couple hits.
That's our Grand Casino story of the game. Anthony Swarzak out there to at least start the 8th inning. He was cruising through 2 innings, but we saw Jared Burton warm up. It'll be Pujols leading off the Angel 8th. Down the middle, a strike.
21 pitches for Anthony Swarzak, 18 strikes, 4 strikeouts. He's retired all 6 batters he's been asked to get.
Breaking ball popped up, fouling out of play.
Mike Pelfrey started this ball game 5 innings, 7 hits, 4 runs, all earned, a couple walk, a couple strikeouts. Swarzak has come in and shut the door so far.
Another breaking ball lifted foul over the Twins dugout. Pujols got his first home run of the year out of the way early for the Angels, and then he added another one. Last year, 110 at bats without one. Busted his bat, a bouncer to third. Pujols really struggling to run, is retired. 7 up, 7 down for Swarzak.
Got into the kitchen very nicely here tonight. A lot of broken bats. It was Pelfrey who broke some bats in his 5 innings out there. Swarzak just getting a bat broken off the bat of the hands of Pujols.
Josh Hamilton 0 for 3. One strike to Hamilton. That's just the 4th ball thrown by Swarzak in 27 pitches. Roller to second. Dozier to Morneau, 2 down. Twins tickets remain affordable and available to the 2013 season. Get fed and entertained starting at just $13. Sports Authority Value Pack Tuesdays and Thursdays include a ticket, hot dog, and soda. This and other specials available every day of the week. Find out more by calling 833-TWINS or visiting twinsbaseball.com.
I know the Angels aren't playing real well right now. They come in with a 4-9 record coming into this ball game. But even like that pitch right there, when Hamilton gets hot, he will drive that ball the other way. For him to try to pull that ball that's outer half of the plate, you can see that he's struggling a little bit at the plate.
Trumbo was watching all these breaking pitches from Swarzak, and he drove one sharply to left. And a nice play by Escobar, retrieving the ball, getting it back to the infield quickly. Trumbo thought he had a double, and he's held it first.
Yeah, Escobar did a great job of playing the carom, and his speed caught up to this ball very quickly. Plus, Trumbo hit the heck out of this ball. That got down to that corner in a hurry. Trumbo gets his second hit of the ball game. This ball lined into that corner. Look how quick it got out to there. Ricocheted off the wall. Escobar gets it and throws it to second base. And Trumbo made a big turn, but had to hold up at first.
Kendrick takes ball 1. Kendrick 0 for 3. Breaking ball over.
A lot of talent on this Angel ball club. They have just not gelled yet. But again, Dick, you mentioned the starting staff really struggling.
Bounce to third. Fair ball. Bluth with a strong throw. Got him. Good play.
Nice play by Trevor Plouffe.
The Angels are done in the 8th. 3 nearly perfect relief innings for Anthony Swarzak.
At Target Field. We'll have more coverage of this game after the final out in Twins Live presented by CenturyLink. A second consecutive 4-hit night for Joe Mauer. It's the second time in his career that he's done that. We'll look at what Mauer has done at the plate these last couple of games. Plus Anthony Swarzak came in 6th inning, 7th inning, 8th inning. What he did so effectively tonight against the Angels, and reaction from the manager Ron Gardenhire as the Twins threaten to go 2 for 2 against the Angels. Dick and Bert.
Well, thank you, Marty. And I think significantly, there's nobody warming up in the Twins' pen right now. Swarzak might have an opportunity to get a 4-inning save. Burton was warming up, and whether it's a coincidence when the Twins made it a 4-run lead or not, he quit warming up. So as short as the start was from Pelfrey, the Twins are going to maybe try to get through this game using just 2 pitchers. Plouffe leading off the 8th inning. One and one. Plouffe, Doman, and Parmelee. And a strike, 1-2. Plouffe doesn't like the call.
De La Rosa at 6'7", trying to create that downward plane straight over the top.
Fox track showing that Plouffe had a case for that pitch not being called a strike, and Plouffe heads out back to the dugout, swinging through strike 3.
De La Rosa picking up a strikeout.
Brian Doman, the batter. Ball 1. Parmelee on deck. And a 4-pitch walk puts Doman aboard.
Wow, pretty good pitch right there.
And that'll bring up Parmelee. Updated look at the totals to our AT&T Twitter poll. We have been asking you which division will be the most competitive this season. Last night, I think the American League East had the lead. The American League Central was right there.
I disagree. I think it's going to be the West.
Really?
Yes.
Based on?
Based on, I think this ball club right here, the Angels are going to catch on fire. I think the pitchers will start to settle down a little bit. Too much experience in that starting staff. Blanton, Vargas. I think who the Twins will see tomorrow. Hanson. They're going to get Jarrett Weaver back. Wilson, C.J. Wilson. A lot of experience in their starting staff to be pitching the way that they have.
2-0.
Oakland is going to stay in there. Texas, Seattle. Those 4 ball clubs really good.
Right now, the Angels are threatening to fall behind the Houston Astros. Blanton on the right, last night's starter. Vargas, tonight's starter. To center. And Borges makes a nice run and catch out number 2. And that'll bring up Escobar.
But then you look at the East, of course, Boston off to a very good start. Their starting staff has been outstanding. The Yankees, surprisingly, are right there. There's a ball club that you don't know. Baltimore, Buck Showalter has those guys playing very good baseball. And then Toronto, who's supposed to be the favorite. And then you've got Tampa Bay. You know, Joe Madden always will find a way to win down there.
Rays lost again today, 5-4 to Baltimore. And the way the Rays have been swinging the bats, they score 4 runs, they need to win because they haven't scored 4 runs very often this year.
Well, how'd you like to be the Miami Marlins with the Atlanta Braves? What, 12-1 now? Unbelievable start for the Braves. Miami coming into play 2-11.
Braves beat the Royals today. Marlins coming to town here next week. Chance to see Mike Redmond.
Yeah, that'll be fun to watch.
2 strikes to Escobar. And a fly to left center field. It's got some carry, but Trout is out there to haul it in. A scoreless 8th. The Twins lead by 4 as we go to the 9th.
It's been a long time coming.
8-4, Twins in front. And Anthony Swarzak will have a chance to pick up a rarity in baseball, a 4-inning save.
Anthony Swarzak has been outstanding. 32 pitches, 27 strikes, 3 shutout innings, only given up 1 hit, and that to Mark Trumbull last inning. Swarzak, of course, in the minor leagues, mainly a starter. He has 1 minor league save, and that came in his first year back in 2004, looking for his first major league save.
Kevin Correa gave the Twins 7 innings last night, and now as short as Mike Pelfrey's start was, it looks like they're going to be able to get through the game with just 2 pitchers here tonight. An off day on Thursday, although we have weather moving in tomorrow, and there is a chance we'll have weather issues tomorrow night, and then within that the chance that the game would be made up on Thursday. But the point is, this Twins pitching staff desperately needed a breather for the bullpen, and Correa last night, and maybe more Swarzak than Pelfrey tonight, have accomplished just that.
Well, Swarzak, remember I said last time he pitched was in Kansas City when Pelfrey started, and Swarzak came in, pitched 4 very good innings. Remember, that was a game that the Twins ended bases loaded with Mauer up. He ended up striking out, but Twins had a chance to get back into it, even though they lost 7-4.
Hicks with the catch. Iannetta retired, 1 away. And that'll bring up Jimenez. Angels have 8 hits. Jimenez has 2 of them. Strike one.
Jimenez struck out against Swarzak to end the 6th inning. Good hard breaking ball down.
And a called strike over the inside corner. Breaking ball tapped to third. Plouffe fires it high. It'll be an error on Plouffe. He looked up and saw Jimenez busting it down the line, and a hurried throw, a high throw at least, allows Jimenez to reach.
Now first error for the Twins. And Jimenez hustling down that line. For Trevor Plouffe, his 2nd error of the year.
J.B. Shuck is going to hit for Andrew Romine. Check swing and a strike.
Shuck in his first season with the Angels came up with the Astros in 2011. Played 37 ball games for the Astros, hit 272 that year.
Oh my. They call the check swing strike 2. I didn't think he went.
I thought he did.
Did you?
Oh yeah. It's 10:30.
So I've been crouching behind the plate for 3.5 hours, like Paul Nauert has. Earlier we talked about Pelfrey and how he's kind of slow to the plate. Some relievers, Mark Lowe last night. Watch Swarzak, how quick he is to the plate. He barely picks up his front leg.
That's that slide step right there. Kind of keeps that runner a little closer.
It's to the left field corner and foul.
You know, and you're going to get the same velocity you would as if you raise your leg up, even though you just go over. As long as you keep your hips back and then explode with that back foot on that pitching rubber, you're not going to lose any velocity. You're not going to lose anything on your breaking ball. As long as your arm's going to catch up because you're a lot quicker.
Missed inside, 2-2.
That fastball at 90 miles an hour. Let's take a look right here. Just a quick knee up and then the follow through.
Pick it up just far enough to make your stride with that foot. 2-2. To center. Chuck with a base hit. Now the Angels trying to put together a threat here, taking advantage of the air, first and second, and 1 out. Now you got to deal with the top of the order. And Ron Gardenhire going to the mound, and he's not going to waste any time here. Swarzak upset that he can't finish the ball game.
Oh, what a job, though. 45 pitches, 36 strikes. He does not get a save, but boy, he got a save. In my opinion, he got a save. He came in and shut the door of the Angels. And he gets a nice round of applause.
Good performance by Swarzak, and now Glenn Perkins will try to finish it off. But an error followed by a base hit has taken him out of the ball game.
What a job right there. 45 pitches, 3 1/3 innings for Swarzak. No walks. He attacked the strike zone. There's that word again. And Swarzak, great job. Came in and restored some order as far as, the last 3 innings that Pelfrey pitched. The Angels were putting some runners on the board, picking up some hits, some runs. Swarzak came in, did his job.
Now Borges with runners at first and second and 1 out. Glenn Perkins on the mound.
A save opportunity for Glenn Perkins. He has 2 saves on the year, both of them coming in Baltimore. He last pitched against the Mets in that 16-5 loss. He did give up a couple runs in that outing.
And a strike, and because of who is hitting behind him, and it's not just Trout, it's then Pujols, Hamilton, and Trumbo. This is a very important batter to get out. It is a save situation for Perkins. But in getting Borges, you'll keep the tying run from coming to the plate in Trout.
Good high fastball there, just blew it right past Borges.
Got him. On 4 pitches, a biting slider down and in, 2 down.
Well, you get ahead in the count, and then you get that hitter chasing. That's exactly what Borges did right there, that hard slider like you mentioned. So 2 outs for Glenn Perkins.
Trout a single and a walk in 4 plate appearances. At the knees, 94 miles per hour. Breaking pitch,
wow.
Missing. It was 1-1.
That looked like it was better than the other one. Take a look at this last pitch. Wow. Again, Dick, I wanted everything. What the heck?
Between the batter's boxes on the fly, that's a strike,
whatever.
right? Swung and a miss through the slider.
A hard slider. 84-mile-an-hour slider.
Tried to burn the inside corner with a fastball and missed. Working Trout inside. Fouled away, got it out over the plate. I suppose when you throw 95 or 96, as was the case on that last fastball, that's where you'd want to pitch a batter on a cold night. Guys with power, you say, like to get those arms extended.
Yeah. See if they go right here. Big pitch.
2-2 to Mike Trout.
Something to happen on 2-2. Oh boy. Slider down and in.
Trout laid off. It's a full count with Pujols on deck. Fly ball, right field corner. Parmelee chasing it. Leaping and no play. Did not make the catch, although it appeared to hit his glove.
Yeah, Parmelee got over there. He reached over the wall and maybe made contact. Maybe his elbow hitting the wall. Take a look right here. Parmelee leaping up.
And the wrist.
Kind of drifted back on him a little bit, I think.
Trout with another swing. Another foul. Driven to right, a base hit. Pujols will have a chance. Dino Ebel waving the second runner around. A 2-run double by Trout, and it's a 2-run lead.
But inside out swing by Trout, just hitting that ball down the right field line. He gets his second hit of the ball game. Driving in a couple runs, and it's an 8-6 ball game. Fastball. Trout, a couple hits. He's driven in 3 runs in the ball game.
Great at bat for Trout. And now Pujols 1 for 4 on the day. Bounce to third off of Plouffe. Escobar has a chance with a strong throw. And got him! Pedro Florimon with a great play. Throwing out the limping Albert Pujols, and that ends it. A great play by Florimon.
Wow, this time Florimon threw the ball. Remember earlier in the ball game he held on to it and showed off that great arm that he has to retire the Angels.
And Pujols with plantar fasciitis in one foot, a sore knee in the other leg, simply unable to run.
Nasty hop. Florimon sets and throws a rocket over to Morneau for the final out. Ooh.
I said last night it just hurts to watch him run. He can't. And Perkins gets the save, and the Twins have won the first 2 here against the Angels. Some anxiety toward the end, Tom Hanneman. The bottom line is the Twins have won this series and have a chance, weather permitting, for a sweep tomorrow.
An effective combination of power at the plate and pitching tonight for the Twins, who win at 8-6 coming up next on Twins Live. We'll talk about another 4-hit night for Joe Mauer, a great relief job from Anthony Swarzak, and we'll hear from Ron Gardenhire. Can they sweep it tomorrow? We'll talk more about that. Twins Live is next.